Bad Blood 2024. What do I say about this show that is been talked about already that I can share about myself when I was watching for bits of it? For one thing, I thought the show was pretty solid. I didn't think it was a bad show. I'm not gonna say it was a good show. There were some things that didn't make any sense, which I will get into. And but I did think that's the things that stood out, that were supposed to stand out, did their job in what it was supposed to do. I just think overall the booking of this really makes zero sense. Like, the booking of all of it just it's it was tough. It's tough to really just just really just say like, oh, the booking was good, because it wasn't. I don't know. Like, I really instead of just talking, let me just get to it. First, this was easily the match of the night. And if it's not for any particular other thing or particular other matches of this year in WWE, this is the match of the year. I will say this. It's one of the best wrestling feuds that we've seen in the last 10, 20 years. And it ended perfectly inside what I believed is the return of the true Hell in a Cell. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre was vicious, violent, bloody, and at times just uncomfortable to watch. That's what a Hell in a Cell match is supposed to be. Uncomfortable. It's supposed to feel like you're watching a snuff film. This is what it was. Punk bled, Drew bled profusely, for one thing. Drew bled the hard way because he got hit with that toolbox and boom, it was bloody for hours. Oh my god. Like, the blood that was coming from Drew was madness. And all in all, they told a perfect story from beginning to end. Anybody that walks into that Hell in a Cell will not walk out of that Hell in a Cell the same way they left it. It was just the best example of what a Hell in a Cell match should be, is supposed to be, and how it's supposed to be handled. I know Cody versus Seth is a fantastic Hell in a Cell match. I love that Hell in a Cell match because of how it was set up, but that's because it was set up that way. Cody tore his pec. If Cody was healthy, we were probably going to get just a regular simplistic Hell in a Cell that we've been seeing throughout the regular PG era. And we had Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, which I was there for. I was impressed, but I wasn't too impressed. I thought that the stoppage of blood all the time for Finn Balor made the match kind of fall flat. When I was there, I just felt like they just keep stopping it just for his blood. That's what Hell in a Cell is supposed to be. It's supposed to be violent. It's supposed to be that way. This is what Hell in a Cell. This match was Hell in a Cell. Everything was just perfect. The spots were insane. An apron suplex from one side of the post to the other side through a table was just insane. Drew hitting the side of the steel steps, trying a claymore, was mad. The finishing sequence with Drew pulling out a bag of beads with CM Punk's friendship bracelet on it. Ah, man, it was just, the storytelling just fit perfectly. And if anything, this is particularly to me just my favorite Hell in a Cell match that I've seen since Jay versus Roman at Hell in a Cell 2020. Like, and if we're talking about specific violent Hell in a Cell matches, this is my particularly favorite violent Hell in a Cell match since Triple H versus Batista in 2005. This was just perfect. CM Punk winning, right decision. This gives Drew time to recollect. Again, doesn't feel like him losing was a bad thing either. I think him losing really just made him even more of a freaking badass. And CM Punk winning is just another cherry on top. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. These two put on a masterclass. 5 stars. Chef kiss. And the ending with both men not even being able to walk out on their own power. Punk with the oxygen tank collapsing on the ramp before he even got to the to the entranceway. It was just amazing. Drew, bloody, can't even stand on his feet. Amazing. Like, this was just the perfect Hell in a Cell match. This was perfect. So perfect. I would not change any of this. Here's where it gets a little bit stupid, though. Nia Jax versus Bayley. The WWE Women's Championship match. I wasn't able to see a lot of it, but from what I was watching, because I was at work and I was going in the cold box, it was like, ugh. This was far and away not better than their SummerSlam match, which was really good and very good in ring. It just felt messy. This match felt real messy and got even more messy when Tiffany Stratton came out and tried to interfere. I mean, Nia Jax tried to pull a freaking Hurricane Rana, which just, oh god, no, just looked horrible. It just looked so bad. Like, this match just felt so awkward. It felt so off pace. It felt so like the in-ring work. Bayley is a fantastic in-ring worker, and Nia has come far and away like more improved than what she was in her early years. But this was a bad match. I just no. And Nia did retain off of interference, which did kind of just blow the match, like, blow the match even more. And at the same time, when we're all asking for Tiffany Stratton to cash in her Money in the Bank, it doesn't happen, and we're just still waiting. It's like, what are we doing here? What is happening? What are we doing with this? And we will find out more in the coming hours or so, like literally after. Then we have, my opinion, probably the worst booking decision of the night. Maybe. No, there's another one. Actually, no. This is the worst booking decision of the night. Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. From all accounts, a great match. These two have great chemistry. But the wrong person won. Why Damian Priest winning after all this time of building up Finn Balor? Why continue to build up Finn just to have him lose in these particularly big matches? It's crazy. Finn's not had a pinfall win since 2019 Super Showdown. He hasn't had a singles win since Extreme Rules of 2022. 2 great matches against Andrade and Edge, and I was there for that I Quit match, which is fantastic storytelling. But why in the world is Finn continuing to lose in singles matches that he's supposed to win? It doesn't make any sense to me. Finn should have won. He had everything, but he still lost. And the thing is, he lost clean again. And it's just so mind-boggling. What are you doing? Damian Priest is okay. He doesn't need any more wins currently because he was just World Heavyweight Champion. He had the run of his career with the World Heavyweight Championship and has had match after match after match be so freaking good against people like Jey Uso, against people like Seth Rollins, against people like Gunther. He's been particularly almost like the MVP of WWE this year. And like a loss right now would not hurt him. And there was a reason for him to lose. But they didn't do it. They didn't do it. They didn't do it. And Finn Balor still lost. Oh god. Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. With the Judgment Day interference, JD and Carlito interference, and still Finn Balor lost, and Damian Priest won clean. And then the finishing sequence just doesn't make any sense to me. Finn hit, I believe, two coup de grace in the moment. He hit two coup de grace to the back of Priest's head, to the back of Damian Priest, and Priest fought it off and just hit South to Heaven for the win. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really, really don't get it. Now on to a match that I seriously just can't comprehend out of my head, out of my mind. Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan for the Women's World Championship. It was going okay. And then the nonsense happened literally at the end. Dominic's hanging from the cage, the shark cage that he was raised in, and he's a little bitty baby. He's a little bitty bitch. Let's just say it. When Dominic's hanging from the shark cage by his foot, Rhea starts to pay no attention to Liv and starts hitting Dom with a kendo stick like a piñata. Okay? Cool. But the referee, obviously just standing there in the ring, I think just supposed to not really see anything, I guess. But then Raquel returns. Okay, cool. Then the referee, for some reason, is outside the ring, runs into the whole thing, and all out of nowhere, the bell rings. And it's a disqualification. I'm like, what? 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 Huh? What? Huh? What is going on? Just what? What in the world just happened? Like, what just happened in that sequence, which just was supposed to be, I guess, a ref knockdown? All in all, the referee was out of position. Let's just say that. The referee was hella out of position. He was supposed to not see any of that. And it was supposed to be a Liv Morgan DQ or a Liv Morgan win by a shenanigans. But it wasn't. It's very confusing. All that was just so confusing. And I really just was left like, why though? Honestly, why? And obviously this feud is going to continue for a little longer. Although I feel this feud should have 100% ended at this particular event. But now the addition of Raquel is going to push this story further. However, it just doesn't see. I just don't see a particular reason for this to go. Damian Priest is done with the Judgment Day. Rhea Ripley should be done with the Judgment Day. There is more to do with the women's roster on Monday Night Raw than this continuous, nonsensical, endless feud that just is just like, it just keeps on going and going. I understand the context. This has been going on since after WrestleMania. But this really was the end. This felt like that should have been the end. This should have been the end. Rhea should have moved on. Liv Morgan should be able to move on. Instead, this just has to keep going. And we just don't need this to keep going with the purpose of, well, now Raquel is involved. What are we going to do? And how is Rhea going to back herself up? It's just it's so complicated. And sometime soon, this might all come to an end. And it might all be figured out at this point. But, I don't know. I don't know. And then we had the main event. In my opinion, I know a lot of people also feel this way as well. this should not have been the main event. I get it. I mean, just overall, the match was good. It wasn't like, eye popping. The ending sequences, though, is what makes this eye popping. Jimmy Uso returning and super kicking and taking out Gorillas of Destiny outside the ring for Roman to hit the spear on Solo and win. And Roman looked fantastic. Roman is Roman. You can give him a year, 2 years, 6 months away. Comes back. He's just phenomenal. He's a beast. He's a freaking legend. He's already great. Cody's great. Jacob Fatu is just a menace to society because he's just so freaking fantastic. And you also got Solo Sikoa. Other than that, yeah, this was it was fine. And again, the ending is what makes this all like what WWE will presume to say main event worthy. That's what made it main event worthy, and they made it for a reason to have it headline the show. Obviously, Cody and Roman have Georgia ties. Cody born in Georgia. Roman played for the Georgia Tech. So, yeah, and you had these great entrances, by the way, but Cody's entrance was a bit off sync. I do remember seeing I believe it was the Arkansas band. I believe it was them too that was there, but regardless, they had their ties. Which, okay, fine. But at least make it worthy to... That's a good hit. At least make it feel like it's supposed to be there where it's supposed to be. Because other than that, the Hell in a Cell match, this match was the real main event. And this one just felt like nothing until you got to the end. Jimmy's return, great. Jimmy and Roman, baby faces, great. Cody and Roman down the line at some point, great. And then you have the motherfucking Rock returning out of the blue, out of nowhere. And it was shocking to see and unbelievable to even think about. Because, one, The Rock is The Rock. He is a fan. He's that guy. He's got that electricity, and he's the number one person that you want to book in any particular time period in the end of the show, not in the beginning. I guess that makes sense, whatever, or so sort of. Like, other than that, I just really did not see the reason for this match to main event. I said this. This match should just be the beginning of the show. Because, of course, you're going to get the big pops out the way. Of course, you're going to get big pops from Jimmy. You're going to get a pop from The Rock. But what you're going to have in the end, though, is this masterclass of a fucking rivalry that is going to make people ready for this match, for this that's ready for this show, that's ready. They came for Bad Blood to see Hell in a Cell in the end. They should have kept it that way. Bad Blood's always been headlined by a Hell in a Cell match. It should have stayed that way. From Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker to Triple H versus Kevin Nash to Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. And when you need a match, when you need a pay-per-view to end on like Bad Blood, to end on a note that it needs to end on, this is what it needed. The Rock is great. Jimmy's return is great. The Bloodline storyline, the arcs and bounds that it's going is fantastic. I just don't think that this was main event worthy. I just don't think that it was main event worthy. I just don't think that, for once, the Bloodline should not have main evented. And then, after this match, we had a little bit of a problem. And the problem was Kevin Owens confronting Cody Rhodes. And I was in the theater at this point. So the show had gone off at least about an hour after. And after the show then went off, the scene was Cody's at his bus. Kevin Owens comes up to Cody. They're having a conversation. They're having a talk. And then afterwards, Kevin Owens just punches Cody and starts wailing on him. Like, what in the world? Like, what? What's going on? Like, what? What? Honestly, like, it just was out of nowhere. Like, this heel turn that they did was out of nowhere. It was shocking. It was fucking tastic. I seriously thought that heel turn that they did was legitimately just executed perfectly, and they didn't make any mention of it on social media. It was just fan outlet reports and a news report just coming out of nowhere, and it was fan footage. It was recorded like a fan recorded it. It was perfect. It was a perfect, well executed, successfully well done heel turn of Kevin Owens in just like the most insane way possible. And I ought to tell you, I was just as shocked as like many others were. I'm like, what in the world is going on? What in the world is happening? Because you never really see something like that. You never see something like that. And I freaking love the way that WWE is approaching these face turns and heel turns now. It's becoming more realistic. It's becoming more of authentic than it is just like, okay, this is like just, we're expecting it at this point. We're going to see it. Like, some of us were expecting KO's heel turn, but not like this. Like, in the way of like people are going to record it and we're going to see it online. Like, seriously, we weren't expecting it that way. Nobody was expecting it that way. That's what made it so genuinely just sweet. It made it so sweet. And that was Bad Blood in a nutshell. I don't even know how else to describe it, but just very, very interesting. Again, the two matches were the two matches that stood out. Hell in a Cell and the main event. These ones, ugh. And you got Crown Jewel, where you got the two world champions. Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, currently are set to face for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. And you got Cody Rhodes and Gunther set to face for the Men's Crown Jewel Championship, which will be defended every single year at Crown Jewel. And I didn't talk about the segment because I really didn't need to. I really don't want to. Because I think that's just a part of the show that you can just erase and skip. All I'll say is Goldberg is back with WWE. Cool stuff, I guess. Just don't let him win something major, which I know Triple H will not have. He won't do that. He will not do that. Other than that, Bad Blood. How do I rate it out of 5 stars? I don't know. I say 2, because I just didn't like the decision makings of the rest of the show. And they could have switched the first and the last match and really just had, bang, a solid 3, 4 out of 5 show. but instead I'll rate it 2 out of 5. But let me know what you think about Bad Blood in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Like, comment, subscribe, because I kind of videos like these that are going to come out are going to be more, and I'm actually going to be doing a lot of different things now, more so than I do before. So please stay tuned. All in all, I love you guys. Thank you for all the love and support and the views that you get this channel, the subscribers that tune into this channel. I appreciate you guys. And peace and love. Have a good Wednesday. Have a good rest of the week if I don't end up being available to make more videos. And I will see you all soon. Yeah. Bad Blood. Good grief.